bring the meeting to order. George said that he's turning the camera on, so hi there.
Yes.
Oh, all right.
And I apologize for the agenda. Of course, my computer just didn't do what I wanted it to do. I hope I've turned it off. I hope tomorrow it'll do better. So, anyway, you all got, I hope you got the notes from the last meeting.
Yep.
Are there any questions or additions or corrections about
No, it
that?
looked good.
Fine.
Okay. All right, then we distributed a number of things. Everybody has the notes from the June 29th meeting?
Yep.
The membership list, does everybody have a membership
Yep.
list? And the Alliance Review number 1 and 2, two people have those, and I think one is Karen, and I think the other one is your wife.
I don't know. She has the folder with all her stuff in, and I didn't bring it.
It's here, I'll find it somewhere before we're finished, but anyway.
So I think
When
we
those two are returned, then we'll move it on to another person, because I think that information is interesting and helpful. And you all should have the two pieces that Dean Bennett distributed, the tax incentives and tax credits.
Yep.
Okay. All right,
That
well,
I don't have, because I
you
wasn't
don't
there for
have.
that meeting.
All right, let me
That was the day.
give you those before you go, because I think I have some here.
Okay, fine.
Was that the same as what we had at the meeting in June? The
Excuse me?
Yeah.
earlier meeting that we had in June, that was that same
When he was
handout,
here.
right? Okay.
Yeah, so last meeting.
The last meeting, and that was.
So you don't have that
Okay,
either?
so then I wouldn't have that, no.
Right.
Nope.
All right, before we go, I think I have it with me. If not, we'll make a copy. All right, the first thing I have on here, would anybody like to be secretary? We did have one, but she had moved away. So I've just been taking notes. But if anybody would like to do it, I'd be very happy to have that person do it. I don't mind, because I'll tell you what, it helps me remember what we said and what, prepare for the next meeting. On the other hand, it's really not appropriate for the chair to be taking the notes. So what do you think? Anybody want to do that?
I can if nobody else wants to. I should be able to make most of the meetings.
Well, that would be wonderful, Kelly. I appreciate that. All right, yes, that's great. Okay, then.
And if you're not here, somebody can just be acting secretary for
sure.
that meeting.
That would be
so.
something I'd be more willing to do. I just can't sign on for another thing.
The Heritage Day, the next thing on the agenda is to bring up the Heritage Day again, and there's a flyer out there. So before you go, pick one up. I didn't bring many in, they're out on the counter.
Facebook page.
All right, now I found my poster.
And Mary is going to kind of head
But
that up,
now,
right?
I'm gonna be, am I just gonna be at the library? Or am I supposed to go somewhere else on the next day?
No, and I talked to
No,
Katie.
wait a minute, no, what do you mean?
Very good, Mary.
Don't go anywhere else.
Okay.
The library.
Okay,
I talked to Katie, and she's willing to have us come in a little ahead of time to set it up.
okay.
And she's also willing
pretty well set
to
up.
keep it there for a while, which I think is a good
Yeah, I got one.
idea.
Oh,
All right.
that's-
So,
Did Lynn say that she'd be willing to leave her postcards there
Yes.
for a bit?
yes,
If Katie was in charge of it?
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
okay.
talked about the safety of that,
Right.
because she wouldn't want anything to happen,
Yeah.
but we kind of decided that, well, she decided that she would do it because she would like people to have the opportunity to see it.
Yeah.
And, we're hoping for the best. So Katie suggested that we use and they have a table, so we
Oh.
don't have to take tables.
Okay,
And she'll
good,
put it up right in front of the fireplace.
Okay.
In that room.
yep,
So if you see her ahead of time, you might want to just, talk
okay.
about it.
So we'll just put up the same stuff that we put up at voting day. We'll have the poster and the postcard collection and a sign-up sheet for if somebody wanted to serve on this committee or be a member of it in some way or another. And did we have anything else?
I will bring the things that I did before, for example, what is a historic preservation?
Oh, yeah, okay.
All those.
And so you'll bring those,
Yeah.
okay, good, great.
Is there anything else? We don't have to limit to that if we can think of other things. And the idea is that, Charlene and, oh, what's her name? She plays the piano very well. She's the organist at the Methodist Church.
Nancy Cole.
Nancy. Charlene and Nancy are going to do the house tour.
Okay,
And Charlene said that they would start there and make a point of bringing the people in. So we should say something to Charlene again to remind her about that, because I think that will make a difference. Because people may not decide to go inside the libraries, but
Yep.
if that's part of her tour, then they're sure to
well,
go.
maybe I could stick a little poster outside too.
That's a good idea.
What we did on voting day was to have, I don't know if you were there, but we put a table
I was
of.
there too, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the
And we did
display.
talk to
Really
a lot of
nice.
people as they came in, just
Yeah,
to try to
really
say
nice display,
some
yeah.
of the things that historic preservation has done to date. Yep.
Yep, I remember that.
Do we have anything that we can put out that's like, you know, some of the most recent?
That's what I made I made a poster,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, like, just in some of the most recent, like, you know, in the past 3 months since the town meeting as well. Or some of the initiatives that we're working toward or anything like that. Do we have anything we can put together?
It's not coming to me right off the bat, what you have in mind.
Well,
You
I
mean
mean-
just working on the ordinance or working on
Yeah, you know,
just what we've been doing in committee?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Just, you know, these are the current things that we're working on, so
Okay.
people, you know, have something that's more tangible, that's, you know, up to date, current.
Okay.
I
Well,
don't
we can
know if
bring the
there's-
minutes, so I could have the minutes.
Okay. I don't know
And,
if there's anything that we can disclose. I don't know if, you know, if privacy comes into play or anything.
oh no,
like that.
we're just working on stuff
Okay.
for the ordinance, really.
And you know, no, we're not even on the scheduled events. I just saw this today.
Well, then all the more important for Charlene to refer people to us.
She's on at 10
Oh.
a.m. historic walking tour and stained glass window tour. So
Stained glass window tour?
They missed us.
Huh.
And that was on the original, it was on the original schedule.
Oh, thank you.
All right, well, that's another good reason for a sign too.
Yep.
So we'll tell Charlene that. Yeah, that's too bad. What can we do about that?
I don't know.
They're printed now.
I'm afraid they're printed now, as Kelly says.
But they just put up their Facebook page, I think,
Yeah, they could change
not
that.
last night, but the night before. So, I
That's
mean,
pretty easy to change that.
yeah, that's easy to do. Do we have a Facebook page?
Our organization, no. We are listed on the town website. I'll ask, I think it's separately that she did the schedule. Now, I don't know if she was responsible for this, but I'm gonna call her up.
I can talk to her. I'll probably see her tonight.
Sorry,
I'll probably see her tonight, so I can talk to her. if
you'll
you
see
want.
separately? Okay, ask her why we're not there. However, if we are there for an extended period of time, people will come into the library
Oh, yeah.
and see the exhibit, so.
Say anything about the library itself there?
Yeah, it mentions the library, I think.
So
it was-
maybe that's.
Well, no,
that
it's
should be
a
helpful.
historic
It listed-
walking tour.
Carver Memorial Library is listed, number 4, it says. So where does it, oh, here it is. It is listed on, on the back as a map.
Wait a minute, that's us. Historic preservation
Here it
display.
is. No,
It's right there,
Where?
Yeah, it's in there. I thought it was in there too.
right there.
Oh, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
historic preservation display.
But, that's
See,
one good thing.
you got all upset for nothing.
Well, I saw the main
Don't get
camp
me
out,
there.
and then I stopped reading the rest. Okay.
Good, so you don't have to do
Sorry,
it.
sorry,
Sit
sorry.
All right,
I
there.
made a mistake.
It's all right. Turned out well.
You're human. It's nice to be
As long as
reminded
it
every
turned
once in
out
a while,
well,
right?
Okay, we're good.
Okay.
Good catch.
I didn't see it either when I looked down, Marie, so.
I brought this because I got a phone call from the director or the person who's in charge of this museum, the airplane
Oh, yeah.
museum.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't recall or weren't here, it was 2 years ago, we had really a very nice program about Kenneth Smith, who crashed his plane, as I said, almost in my backyard. He was on maneuvers and had some difficulty, and you saw that he was over Searsport, so he deliberately looked for a green place, and there are trees there. So he crashed his plane there so that he could avoid hitting people. And of course he was killed. So he really was a hero, and we did a memorial program based on that and memorializing him. And the director of this museum was there and very pleased that we did it. And he put together this little notebook, so you might want to look at that because there's a lot of memorabilia in here that we used for the program. And I thought it was very nice of him to do that and to give it to us. This is a picture of the site.
It's crazy though.
But the reason I'm mentioning that also because one of the reasons he called is to let us know that his museum is open, and he'd love to have people come up and visit the museum. And you know, our the Bangor Airport was formerly Dow airfield during the war, and a very important base.
I wonder if, well, it's not really what's happening in Searsport, it relates to Searsport. I wonder if Dick would put in that in his weekly column about, about Searsport. The one that's in the paper.
Yeah, the one that goings on.
Yeah, goings on.
Mhm.
I don't know, it's just.
Dick, now what Dick?
Dick Damaris.
Dick Damaris
Oh,
is
Radio,
column in
Radio
there.
In the
Searsport.
Republican Journal.
I mean, it
To
would-
remind people that
Yeah.
that museum is there.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Visit it.
not here, but it relates to what happened
That's a
here.
It
good
certainly
idea.
relates to Searsport, that's
You know,
right.
you could have 2 lines and then there's, I don't know.
Would you
So
like
I-
to write something to give to Dick? I'm sure he'll put it in.
Sure.
Okay.
And give me that
That's a very
folder.
good idea.
Yeah, I'd be glad to.
Would you like to have this?
I
Or
think
do
I
we-
need it or I can't.
Yeah.
You don't need it.
I need it.
Well, Wikipedia.
Okay.
No, I need this. All right, sure, I'll write Dick or I'll tell him we thought it might be a good idea.
Yeah.
And they're open, do they say when they're open here or
Yeah.
anything?
It's
The information's good enough here.
they're not open in the winter. They're just open in the summer.
Okay.
And I met a new neighbor who lives in this house down at the bottom of Reservoir Street, and I'm sorry I can't remember his name, but he called me up several weeks ago
Oh, yeah, here it is.
to find out whether we could help him research his home. It's an
Oh.
historic house.
Yeah,
And I said, well, I'll be glad to tell you how to do it. And I did.
right.
So he did. I
Oh,
stopped
good.
today. He's out. His house looks good. He's fixing it up.
So which house is it now?
It's-
Oh, I know what you mean. I do
Yeah,
know what you mean. Of course
yeah.
I know what you mean.
The ones with the Florida tags, right?
Yeah.
Right, right.
Right.
And
They're doing the landscaping right
so
now.
he did.
Yeah.
He did go down and research his house. And
Yeah.
I said, would you be willing to come and talk to us about it at this
Oh,
meeting?
neat.
Wonderful.
And he said yes. So sometime, probably not next time, but so maybe sometime during the winter, we'll have him come in and talk about.
Wonderful.
Okay. They're planning on being here year round?
Sorry,
They're planning on being here year round?
I believe so. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good.
What's his name?
Sorry.
Oh, you said you forgot. It's okay.
I have it written down at home, but I don't have it with me. But I wanted to tell you about that. Very, very nice gentleman. Okay, I thought we ought to talk a little bit about the Dean Bennett's visit. He's the Economic Development, not officer, director. What did we learn, or did he learn anything from us, or what was your reaction to his being here?
Well, I thought he was helpful, and I'm still a little frustrated, not by him, but by the situation. Of course, I focus more on downtown than I do on the port, and it still seems like there should be some other ideas to get some of those vacant stores open. I know he suggested maybe some people would be interested in tax credits or something, but I don't know. It seems like we could actually find out why they're not open. I don't think that's really us so much, but the town could, and encourage them to do something, because I'd bet you 3/4 of them are vacant, don't you think?
Oh, yeah?
And they're, on the National Historic, whatever you call it, and it just frustrates me. But, it's basically a good meeting, but I guess I was hoping for a little bit more. Perhaps it's not his fault necessarily.
As I said in my notes, he seems to feel that as the outer Searsport is developed, the port, et cetera, there'll be more business in the town. But and then the other thing, I went in to see him after our meeting to thank him for one thing, and we had a nice conversation. And I don't remember whether he said that at our meeting, but he said that Searsport has a bad name for people who are coming
He said
here
it.
because of the reaction
but no
of the
thanks.
people
Yeah.
against.
The lack of support for projects in
Yeah.
the past. Yeah.
But when he said that, I think that relates to, commercial development over there at the port. That has nothing to do with retail development on the main street. It's hard for me to believe that somebody wanted to open a store would be affected by the fact that people didn't want the port being, created or more done with it. So I didn't really discuss it with him maybe as much as I should, but I can't believe that a retail person would hold that against us, or a potential retail person.
But, if you think about it too, and I agree with you, I think they're apples and oranges.
Yeah.
But from a retail perspective though, we are lacking in public parking.
We don't have parking.
And we don't have signage for the parking
No.
that we do have. And also, the spaces themselves are small. There's controls on that. And we don't market it the way
No.
that like Belfast has done, because
Right.
they've done a huge regeneration. And I'm part of the Our Town Belfast group that's actually focused on getting the retailers involved
Oh, all right.
and getting them to promote the town as well. And I see the strides that they've taken, and it breaks my heart when we drive through our town and there's nothing. There's nothing. We don't have Epstein's anymore. It feels like the museum, and I love the museum, but it feels like the museum is kind of taking over the downtown, with the common and whatnot. And it's just we need to figure out something. And I kind of like the idea of tax credits though, or at least a tax break in a way.
No, I agree.
You have to do something to generate
Yeah.
that first step, and once somebody does it first, then other people will move in.
Right.
But, there has to be some sort of theme that we have. We can't all be restaurants. We've lost Jordan's. That was a huge, deal for the town. We lost Lights, with the takeout windows and whatnot, and people don't go back. And even Crosby's is hurting in Bucksport with the same type of situation. So we need to figure out as a town what we want that look and that feel of the town to be. Do we want just to be a Mod Podge, or do we want it to be a cohesive unit that you're going through, because it is a corridor to down east. It always will be. It's not off the beaten path like Main Street in Belfast.
Can you say what kind of things Belfast has done to attract retail business? Because they're really into the art
Yep. Exactly.
gallery market.
Right. Yep.
But what businesses do you feel they went after and got?
The theme for downtown really is the foodie type
Yes,
theme.
yep.
So I mean, they have the treasured tea, the treasured leaf tea place. They have
Yeah.
all of the staple restaurants that they've had, but then they have Eat More Cheese. They have Your
Right.
Mama's Kitchen.
Yeah.
So they're really
So do you
focusing
know
on
where
that.
how they attracted those? Where they reached out to? I guess
I
that's
can
what
find
that's
out.
what I want.
Yeah, I
What I
can-
want to know is find to say, okay, well, we'd like to have
Yeah.
foodie and we'd like to have art galleries and we'd like to have, but who did
Yeah.
they go to? Who did they?
I can
Where did
find
they
out.
attract those things?
Yeah, I can find out for that. I don't know where they attracted them from, but I do know that they've been working on, having the Night Owl Prowl as an example, where all of the businesses got together. They stayed open late. They do the same thing right before Christmas. They're staying open later on Thursdays to attract the local crowd because they're still feeling that same impact where, they're still trying to draw in people that are local and not dependent upon the tourism so
Right.
much.
Okay.
So, and it's a lot of just being out there and putting out the image of Belfast
They
as
have
more
a-
than just an old chicken town.
A good website, I'm on their list, I get that, and I read it all the time because it's interesting and it tells you what's going on.
They do a lot of promotions.
Yeah, that place is really a hot spot right now.
Yeah.
If you think of it on year by year, they're
Yeah.
dying.
I mean, they have done a lot of different things over the last,
Yeah.
say, 30 or 40 years. I mean, I can remember when the Fertile Mind bookstore came in. That was a big deal, and a whole bunch of people that was sort of all connected at that time,
Yeah.
sort of did things. But
Yeah.
they were just sort of smaller efforts, and now it seems very cohesive. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like you walk around and it all seems to be
Yeah.
connected, and if you like it, you like it. So.
Yeah,
And it's a place to walk and enjoy things. And we do not have a large enough downtown, for one thing,
Well, that's what
to
I
do
was
that
gonna
kind of a
say.
thing.
They have a critical mass
Right.
because they have a longer street.
No, they have a lot more.
they have a lot more area.
Yeah, we really need to brainstorm about some of these things, but if you had an idea of places to contact, that would be really great.
Yeah, I can reach out.
I
to
have been thinking, well, I had someone say to me, if I was going to do retail now, I would not think of Searsport at all. There are no buses stopping here, like, to dump a whole bunch of people at the museum or this. So there's just nobody stopping. There's no reason to stop in Searsport right now in a real way to spend a few hours. So that makes it really hard. And you think, oh, well, where do you start with that? So I'm on the board at the museum, and I thought I would start find out who used to get the bus tours and RV tours, all that stuff, and do what I thought myself, and from talking to Lynn, was one of the people I talked to, was making an elevator speech, a short speech
Yep.
that you deliver when you call these
know an
places.
elevator, yep.
Exactly. So what we need is I think the ideas of what we'd like to have are pretty easy to pile up, but you need to places to call is very cryptic. I really don't have any idea. I don't have any idea at all. Someone's got to direct me, and then I just have no idea at all.
Yes, like, is there like a National Retailers
Exactly. I
Association
mean,
or something? or-
right? Is there some
you know, I
secret
mean,
organization that you
yeah,
got to have the
yeah.
password for? I mean,
Right.
I really
There's
don't know.
the tour companies that do the
Yeah.
Leaf Peeper tours.
Right.
But one thing that I've thought, because I've often thought that Searsport needed a draw, right? You have to
Yeah.
have something that gets people just to actually stop here
Yeah.
and not
Yeah.
continue on,
Right.
right?
Right.
And my ideal has always been with the home port and the A.V. Nichols, combining it to like one large property and having something kind of like Colonial Williamsburg or the Plymouth Plantation, where
Yeah.
you dress up in the dated clothing and
Yeah.
you speak that way and you have your day-to-day activities
Yeah.
that way,
Yeah.
and holding brunches and holding educational seminars and inviting the kids in from different schools and whatnot, so you can have it as a school tour.
Yeah.
Because that way you're educating people, you're drawing them to the area, you're giving them a reason to stop,
Yeah.
even if it is just for the afternoon.
Right.
But and it can be done at the museum as well.
Yeah.
Especially because there's so many buildings to the museum.
Right.
But that way, and if we marketed it the right way, that way it's really it's a destination in and of itself.
Exactly. We got to
It's right in
create
the
this
center of
destination.
town.
Then you got to know who to call.
Exactly, and knowing who to call is really
Ghostbusters.
just it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
It's starting out with the Leaf Peeper tours,
Right.
and then working on there's a whole bunch of groups that do RV tours. There's that group that just had all of the old Buicks and the
Right.
Model
Right.
Ts and whatnot.
Right.
they would have loved something like
They
that
were on
because
the
that's from
Castine,
when
I
their
think.
their vehicles were, you know. I
Right.
mean, or a little bit earlier, of course.
Yeah.
But you know, as a town, we've fashioned ourselves as, hey, we were the place to be in the 1800s, right? Well, great. What have you done since then? Really
What have you done
nothing.
lately, right?
Really nothing. We have a port.
right.
That's about it.
Right.
And we need something to, if that's what we're going to model ourselves after, we need to take advantage of that.
Yep,
And
you're absolutely right. I mean,
and-
you really, look what, you know what amazes me is what Bucksport has done since the mill closed?
Yeah.
I mean, it's phenomenal.
The
I
downtown
thought,
is really vibrant.
oh my gosh,
Yeah, it
yes.
is.
I went,
I agree.
she's in on the art gallery.
Yeah.
I went to the art gallery yesterday.
Oh, yeah, did
Have you been over to the art gallery, Lighthouse Art
Yeah,
Gallery?
Lighthouse,
Lighthouse
yeah.
Art Gallery
They-
on
they've
Main
got that
Street in
downtown
Bucksport.
street looking so nice, too.
2 or 3 floors.
Flowers.
Fabulous.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
You, 80
yeah.
people.
So who-
80 people
Sandy,
are
who did
showing
that?
stuff there.
Who did that?
Her name is Catherine James. She's
We
the
need
founding
to buy that person. You know,
person.
there's another
And it
person.
was her vision
Like,
to.
what is her role? Is she a...
She's the executive director
Of
of
what?
Lighthouse Art Center.
Oh, okay.
And she lives right in Bucksport, and it has been, as I understand it, it's been her passion to open an art center in town. And she's put in tons and tons of money,
Yeah.
tons and tons
Oh,
of
she
time.
is. Okay. Because
You
the
know,
building
oh,
is beautiful.
yeah, the building is just
right-
absolutely gorgeous.
It's overlooking the water. I mean, it's just
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
It's- yeah, I mean-
I can't believe you haven't been over there. Somebody
Well,
told
you
me
ought to go this
I should
weekend
go
because
look.
they're doing the Bucksport Bay Festival.
Okay,
this
because it's like
weekend.
open.
Yeah.
What,
Yeah,
Wednesday,
and they're gonna-
Wednesday to
it's
Sunday is that?
Friday. I thought it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay, well, I
Of
don't
this
know. I went there-
weekend, they're going to have all
What's
sorts of
this day?
stuff down there. You know, music and vendors, and you know, I would assume a
It
lot
is
of
open.
the,
I went
you
yesterday.
know, places
I think
will
it's
be open
yesterday
and
I went.
stuff. So, yeah.
Well, and they're staggering things throughout. It's not just the Bay Festival that they have anymore. I
Right.
mean, they had just the Pirate Parlay last weekend. You know, they do they do Bucksport whatever days.
There must
So-
be an organization that encourages that and coordinates that. Now,
Like
I
a chamber
thought...
of
There's a
Commerce
chamber,
type
isn't
place,
it?
yeah.
I think.
Sorry?
Yeah, I thought it was the chamber. I thought there was a
They
chamber.
probably
isn't it?
have similar groups, just the same as Belfast does.
Yep.
that-
Right, there may be
because
just
it's individual,
a different name. That's
Right.
all.
They,
Yeah.
they've got that pretty walk along the river, too.
Yep.
Right. That's
And they're
true. Yeah,
facing
that
their, they're
Riverwalk.
going to,
Yeah,
they're
that's
going to
nice.
promote their 225th birthday. So they're getting ready to do that.
Yeah.
See, but
That's
we have
true.
All right, well,
something
who
big.
do you go to see to get more information about that?
Well,
Do you know?
I think
Sandy?
Dean should be doing this.
What?
I mean, I don't think
You think
it's us
what?
to do that. Dean.
Oh, Dean.
Dean's,
Oh,
I mean,
good
I
idea.
like him, but I think we
his job.
should be
True.
suggesting to him what to do as opposed, or not.
But
that he
anyway,
has
we need to pull all this stuff together so that when we have our ideas of what we think we'd like to have on our main street, or, you know, border to border and,
Yeah.
you know, but the whole thing, then we need a way to disseminate and assignments. We need assignments. Who's gonna call what and see if we can't get something going.
You know, I don't want to change what we're talking about right
Yeah.
now, but I do want to say that he cited the argument about the port,
Yeah.
the Sears Island,
Yeah.
how that turned off a lot of people. But I said, listen, on the other hand, look what a wonderful park that we have there now. It
A lot of
brings in
people are
a
turned
lot of
on now
people.
about
Yeah,
there.
they're
I
turned
live on
on.
that road and that
Yeah.
it's busy all the time
Yeah,
and people are
that's-
keeping it
if-
tidy.
And if people hadn't objected to
Yeah.
that port, we wouldn't have that.
That's right.
Right, right.
I think it's fine. That's a
mean,
project that I think
has
is
to
worked
be-
out.
That has to be publicized too.
Yep.
Right, that island's a lot of fun to walk on.
It is.
There's easy
It is.
trails and hard trails.
Right, and a lot of people
beach.
working to maintain everything, and it's
Yeah.
great.
It
Really
is the
worked
largest
out.
uninhabited
Yes,
island.
it is on the whole East Coast.
Yeah.
And I mean, I remember I have a tie to it. When I was a teenager, I actually wrote letters to Governor King not to have the cargo port. I was very much against
Yeah,
it.
right.
And, you know, I personally, I'm not a big fan of the causeway either, but it does have its benefit as far as, you
Well,
know.
we didn't do the causeway.
Oh, I
That
know.
was before our time.
Oh, I know. But, you know, I think that utilizing the island, and if we incorporated that into, you know, our cohesive
Sure.
Right.
idea of, you know, okay, this was a place that the Indians utilized, the
Yep.
local tribes here.
Yep.
And, you know, this is what they did there, and have the birch bark canoe demonstrations and
Yeah.
whatnot, and utilize it as a tool, as a resource, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
I think that would, again,
As you say,
be
it's-
a draw.
Yeah, it's a long ways from Sears Island to downtown.
Yeah.
Still, you gotta have that downtown.
It's far.
And it's far away
Has-
from the port. And
Yeah,
it's pretty
yeah,
at night
it's
in
its
the
own thing.
distance.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
beautiful at night. It's beautiful at night in the winter time.
It is.
It's a
Sandy,
beautiful little
aside,
downtown.
Aside from the person that developed this lighthouse or
Yeah,
whatever it is,
yeah.
what other person in Bucksport is pulling these things together?
Well, I think
I
you've
would
got,
assume there must be, it
Right,
must
I
be the
think
Chamber
the-
of
the
Commerce,
folks
that
that
would be
have
my
worked-
guess.
That's my
the
guess
folks
too.
that have done the Alamo, I think they've been very active in town.
I mean, I don't know who that specifically is.
Right, I don't
who's
either.
part of
I
that
don't know
group,
anybody. I
but
just brought it all up because
Yeah.
they've pulled off
They did a
something,
nice job
a
with that
miracle
theater, too.
in a very short amount of time.
The
So I
city
think they
council
could be a
members
very
should
good
know.
model.
I bet they did too.
Yeah, the city council should know.
Yeah.
because-
Well, what
Yeah, I
I'm
mean-
trying to get at though is the name of somebody
Yeah.
that we can
Well,
talk
that,
with.
the one, yeah. Well,
So does anybody, can anybody come up with a name?
what's the woman's name from
Well,
the?
Catherine James, I mean, I can get a hold of her
Yeah.
and stuff and see, you know,
Because
what I
she
can
certainly
find out
knows a
from
lot.
her.
She
Yeah.
must know everybody
Yeah,
on
I
the
mean,
street.
Talk to her, Sandy,
Yeah,
about
yeah.
how.
I mean, they had their grand opening a couple months ago, and there
Yeah.
were like over 200 people there.
But
They had
we're not-
the media there.
Sandy.
It was phenomenal, you know?
Sandy, we're not just talking about the lighthouse, we're
I know.
talking about what's going on.
I
in
realize.
Bucksport.
Yeah, but she's
Yeah.
got, she would be a touchstone, I would think. Exactly, right.
Right.
Well, I want to say, this is not helpful, but the amount of traffic on one, we should be able to get some people to stop. Good Lord.
Well,
I
in
can't
the
even
old
walk across
days-
the street.
In the old days, you had busloads of people stopping
Well,
every
yeah.
week in the summertime.
I mean, they gotta.
And they went to
slow
Jordan's
down. They almost
restaurant,
have to
they
stop
came to
all
the
times
museum.
anyway. They could
They-
just stop and park.
Yeah, yeah,
But why don't we focus on different events as well through the town?
yeah.
To really get that, they have Belfast, they have New Year's by the Bay in Belfast, they have the street party.
And they
which
do
we're
that,
having
they do
a
that in
couple of
Camden
weeks.
too. Camden
Yeah,
by
the
the,
Windjammer
Camden
Days.
by the Bay, yeah.
So why not focus on something like that here? I mean, we have
Sure.
all of our historic houses, why don't we do, a Christmas
We
Carol tour,
usually do one,
but market it and make it bigger,
yeah,
or a park concert series, things like that.
yeah.
So I think
Movies in the park.
what we're saying or what we're realizing is that Dean had a different viewpoint from what we're talking about.
Right.
And would it be helpful to go back to him and talk to him about what we're talking about here? Because we didn't bring this up with him.
I think it would.
I think he's the man to do this, and I think we should talk to him again, or somehow get our ideas across. Because as far as the main downtown was concerned, he seemed to be more worried about. Well, I don't know exactly how he was approaching it. So
His view is that if you bring business in, then the town will be rejuvenated. And that's what he's trying to do, is to bring in business. But the business he's bringing in is not Main Street business, it's the perimeter of Searsport.
yeah. Yeah, when you
To
bring
to raise the tax base, I think is
Well,
what his
Well,
aim is.
I understand his idea, and I'm not against it, but it seems to me you could approach both Main Street and Port at the same time.
Yeah, like a two-pronged approach.
Sure.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right, well, would you like me to approach him again and talk about tell him about the conversation we're having here? And
Because I would think it's part of his job too, as not only what he's doing here, but also to see what's going on in the area and kind of start to reach out and say, hey, how come you're doing so well in Bucksport? Who
Or
are you,
Belfast.
that sort of, yeah, or Belfast or whatever. So I would think that's part of his job.
Right, me too.
Orrington's even stepping it up and bringing in new businesses.
you know what
so-
I'm going to do, though, I think, before I talk with him, again, is talk to Mr. Gilway. Because he works for the selectmen. And what did the selectmen tell him to do? Did they talk about what we're talking about here?
And that may be why his focus is, just on the port as well. So,
All right.
You know, I have to say
So,
something too.
Sandy-
Just
Sure.
listen to you guys talk about, I'm on the board as of Friends of Sears Island. So,
Yeah.
I mean, hearing this great stuff you're saying about Sears Island, and I mean, it's taken us
Oh, yeah.
quite a while. I mean, I've been on the board for 4 years now, and you
Yeah.
know,
Yep.
we have an outreach coordinator that we've had for a couple of years now, and And she's doing an excellent job getting people out there, and she's getting out, because we're thinking as a board too. I mean, there's a lot of us that are, getting a little older, and
so we
but she's starting to bring in the younger people, that
Yeah.
35 to 45 age group,
Well, it's a-
with some of the things she's doing out on the island and stuff. So, it's great having her, work on all of this, and we're trying to get more people to stop, and each time it seems like we get more on our walks and our,
Yeah.
she's doing great with publicity and stuff.
And
So
we're even doing yoga.
yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
yeah,
And this is
right.
the second year she's done that. She's doing it. So
That-
yeah, I mean,
had
it's a
those
little different, but hey, it works. It's getting
Those-
people out there.
Exactly. Difference good.
Yeah, if you can keep, I mean, that place is so nice, and you would think, and I think she's doing that, get the younger people in there, just because there's all those hiking trails. Some are easy with their kids, some are a little harder. Somebody's keeping in pretty good shape, I guess maybe you guys are, but they're in
Yeah,
good shape,
we're
too.
we're the
You cut the branches down.
the group that's tasked with keeping the
Well, I
trails in
noticed that,
good
too.
shape and that
But-
sort of thing.
Good Lord, there must be 5, 6 of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, only bad thing is I like it kind of for myself, so I kind of like, oh God, I want all these people coming.
Yeah, well,
But
I
forget that
know.
remark. That was.
But there's such a history too behind
Yeah.
that island that a lot of people
Yeah.
that even live here don't know. So, I think it's a good learning experience, and we're starting to get some. We work with the schools and some of the colleges in the area and stuff. So we get people out there. We've done studies on invasive species. We're getting rid of those. And cleaning up the island, that sort of
Right.
thing. And every week or so, there's somebody out there with a bag of trash.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't believe how much trash washes up. So it's really a concerted effort,
Started was Marietta Ramsdale.
Oh yeah,
of course,
definitely. I agree. Yeah, Marietta and Bob are on our board. Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
but they were the ones that really got it going.
I realize that. Yep, I know. Yep.
It's a lot of work.
Well, there is a lot of history there.
All right, well,
Definitely.
Sandy, do you want to say anything else about working on the curriculum? I know you really haven't done anything.
I haven't
yet, but do you
really
have any
contacted
plans?
Kelly at all,
You're going to
quite
get
honestly.
together, and maybe next meeting you could kind of let us know where you are or where you think you want to
I
go
think we
with
can
it.
put something together.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, our meeting of March 16th, ideas brought forth are as follows, because the notes from that meeting says, that was the time we met in the assessor's office, because somebody else was in this room. And we agreed that the hallway exhibit presentation during town meeting was successful in broadening the presence of the committee in the community. The group decided to continue that effort in order to gradually acquaint community members with the mission of historic preservation, thereby gaining more understanding and acceptance of that mission. Ideas this day and back in March brought forth are as follows. Preparing a brochure intended to be a useful summary of the purpose of the Historic Overlay District to acknowledge and ensure that long-term preservation of historic structures listed on the National Register of Historic Places, referring to the overlay districts and not to regulate land use. These can be distributed to realtors, other organizations, and individuals. I think the rationale there is that people don't really know. And if we could get a brochure together and distribute it through realtors or in other ways, that would be one way of educating people. Preparing and distributing an email newsletter and possible hard copy of the activities of the Historic Preservation Committee. This would continue the presence of the historic preservation, provide interesting tidbits of historical and other information, and acquaint people of the economic and aesthetic value of carrying out the mission of the historic preservation, which is found in the Searsport Comprehensive Plan. Promote understanding of life in the 19th century by developing informational materials about Searsport, shipbuilding, docks, factories, and artisan shops that were concentrated in the area near Mossman Park. And the last paragraph, we will continue to discuss these ideas and others, as well as to try to organize and assume responsibility for these efforts. So, those are the things that we've talked about. Now, I have a couple of examples here of things that relate to exactly those things. First of all, wouldn't it be nice to have elm trees going down Elm Street again?
It would.
This is a brochure that we got some time ago. It's the American Liberty Elm, first disease-resistant native elm. It was introduced by Elm Research Institute in 1784. The following is a partial list of early plantings which have attained heights of 30 to 40 feet. Do you suppose that we could agitate or find responsible people that would help us?
I wonder where you put these trees. If you look at Elm Street, I don't know where you're
Elm
gonna
Street?
stick any tree. I mean, it's like built out to the edge. I don't know where you're gonna stick trees.
Well,
I mean, it's an issue. I mean, it's a difficulty. Mm-hmm. But yeah, great idea. It'd be great to raise money for trees.
see, this is a picture on the back of
Have you ever
this.
thought about planting them down Main Street again, like there
See, there
used
you
to be?
go.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
but if
hard
they-
to think
are
of
they
it
gonna-
right now, Kelly, because
They're
we're
gonna
just
dig
talking
up
about
Main
tearing
Street,
up the
aren't they?
street
Yeah.
and they're
Right.
having a big issue about, widening sidewalks and all that stuff. Where do you put a tree? I mean, I don't know what you do. And, when you put trees in, they.
And their roots do mess things up.
Yeah, here's how it looked on Elm Street, right?
But then might that be
Statement.
something we could bring up, like at the next DOT meeting because they're gonna be talking about that. I think I don't know if it's in the end of July or September or something, but they're gonna have another meeting about that reconstruction, all that.
Yeah.
And maybe that's something to bring up at that meeting. Have they given any thought,
Yeah.
to like the aesthetics
Yeah,
of
see
the
now, like
street
on,
itself?
the way this
and-
is right
Could we
now.
plant, right, could we
You
plant
might
some
be,
trees,
there's a big tree here, but see here, this is all parking area right here.
Before you
now.
go any further, James has already taken care of that.
Sorry?
James has already taken care of that,
What?
the elm trees.
Oh,
What's he done?
He's gonna order them as far as I
Oh
know.
my God.
Wow.
oh, wow.
And use them in maybe the third turning lane that they're talking about
Ooh,
as a calming thing.
Good.
So,
I think out by Dunkin' Donuts. Are you talking about out by Dunkin' Donuts?
the
Yeah.
downtown revitalization.
Yeah, way out
It's
there.
already working.
They're gonna have a third lane.
okay.
Well, I've attended the
Donuts.
meetings, and I haven't heard
All
anything
those.
about it.
Talk to James.
To try to get more business there, because I guess it's hard to get businesses to locate there if it's too hard for people to get in and out of Route 1. So DOT is gonna have a third lane there, but only out that way.
Interesting. Trying to figure out how they'll squeeze that in.
Yeah, I can't imagine sticking a tree in those. I mean, these things
Tree
grow.
in the third
And the
lane?
third lane.
I don't know.
I mean,
Anyway,
All right, well then, according to what George says,
Yeah.
I think the next step would be to talk to James
Yeah.
and find out where he is
They're
with
not
that.
crazy
Sure.
expensive, they're reasonable.
All right, moving on. This is Fairfield Historic District Commission. Now, they have a commission, which we don't have. We just have a committee. But actually, our mission is the very same.
Yep.
Guidelines for their historic district. And this is the kind of thing that I think would be really helpful for us to develop and to give to realtors and to other appropriate people, so that when people come to Searsport, they know what it is that
what we
they are,
have.
what they are moving into. They're moving into an historic town.
Right.
Yep.
And it also gives guidance on additions to historic structures,
Yep.
incidental site structures, so
And
repairing
what
and
their
replacing.
responsibilities would be,
And
if they
that's
buy,
huge.
into
This,
the town. you know.
this goes with that. That's for another form that they use.
Yeah, I think that,
Now, that's a wealthy town, and they're well organized. I mean, they've been doing that for a while, but I don't know why we can't do something similar.
I think we would have more interaction and more people,
Understanding,
Being
I think.
cognizant of it.
A lot of people haven't even thought about it. They don't know what we have here,
right.
seriously.
And also too, if they purchase a property or if they have a property, what they need to do in order to,
That's it.
you know.
Yep.
And this is history and architecture, a walking tour. And this is Church Street in Primrose Hill. And this is downtown and the waterfront.
Oh, just in Belfast. This is kind of like the Museum in the Streets
Yes.
pamphlet.
Yep.
Now Charlene's tour would be pretty similar to what we're talking about for that brochure.
There, go get her.
What is Charlene's tour?
Well, as I understand it, she's going to be walking around, taking the group around to different historic houses,
Oh,
talking about who lived there. I don't think she does much with the style of houses. I think she does more with who
The
lives
people
in
Live
that
there,
house.
right.
yeah.
So the history, not the
Well, that's good.
influence. Yeah.
Yep.
This is another example of a brochure. We don't do that, but
Well, I'm
it's,
gonna so she's got this thing all organized, now ready to go. She probably had it done months ago. To go to a
Yeah.
walking tour that's going to start. Where is it going to start?
at the library.
At the library. Okay. I heard you say that, and yet I wasn't processing to think of where a walking tour, might go. So
I don't know.
Yeah.
I only know that she's doing that.
What?
Yeah.
Don't we have something like that?
now, do you think she intends to do that multiple times,
Yeah, I
like
think so.
for 2 or 3 times in the day, or
According to the schedule, I think that's the only time.
oh, once? Oh.
Yeah, the historic walking tour and stained glass window tour is at 10. I didn't know we had that many stained glass.
Well, she's talking about just the Methodist church
Yeah.
and this,
Oh, okay.
and the Congregational church, because she's just walking, Kelly.
Yeah, that's
She's not
true.
gonna be able to go too far.
I was trying to think of places
I know,
out
that's
there,
what I was-
park that had them, and I was like, I know
Right,
there's like
but she's
one or
starting at the library, so,
Okay, that makes more sense.
yeah.
We're members of the Maine Archives and Museums, and they have money, and
We like money.
this issue goes back to November 2015, but the Belfast Historical Society and Museum is pleased to announce it has recently been awarded a $7,000 grant from the Waldo County Fund of the Maine Community Foundation. I'm sure we all give money to the Maine Community Foundation. This grant will be used to create a 3 to 5 minute long multimedia prototype that features first-person narratives of Belfast and Waldo County history. This program will be made available in a variety of digital formats. The topic chosen for the first modular program is Healthcare in Belfast, and will utilize selected audio and photographic material from the Belfast Museum's collections. Now, we've done something similar to that already.
Yeah.
The museum did it. But that's another good project using or focusing on different aspects.
Right,
So
good
is
idea.
the Waldo County Fund of Maine Community Development, is that what it was?
Well, the Maine Community
Community
Foundation
Foundation. Gotcha.
has a Waldo County fund. When I give money to the Maine Community Foundation, I earmark it for Waldo County. And every year, Betty Schofield sits on that committee, and they delegate money to, people have to apply for it, but if it's a worthy cause, you have a good chance of getting some money
Okay.
to do a project like this.
Well, I think that we should, I mean, we've already started having the video biographies of people and, their,
Oh, that's been going on for a long time.
right, exactly. So we're already starting on that, so, I mean, why,
Well, we don't need money to do that, do we? We
No,
have
but
very
we-
talented people
Yep.
that are
we
already
need money
doing
to
that.
archive it, though.
But what I'm suggesting is that there are projects that we may need money for, and we could ask for money if we
Yep.
if we develop.
The elevator
If we
speech.
develop it.
Exactly. To get the money, right,
Yep.
to do some development. What a great idea. Okay, so, gotta make up a list of what we wanna do, make up a list of who we're gonna ask, and
All right,
some
where are
ways
we?
some ways to fund it. Yep.
Thank you.
We have the school project being worked on.
Yeah.
And when you're ready to make a report, we'll get a report on that. What other things that we've been talking about would anybody like to work on?
Well, we need to work with Dean about,
Yeah.
getting him back here, speaking with him,
Who?
with Dean,
Dean.
finding out what his area of focus has been, his directive from the selectmen, and, getting him to see what we see, with the downtown.
Would you like me to talk with him and ask him to come next time?
Why don't
So
you
that's-
talk to him and see if you could talk to him. I'm not against him coming, but I think he may say, well, I just already told you what I think.
Yeah.
so-
Well, I understand that,
Yeah.
and that's why I would want to talk to him about what we're talking about.
Yeah, if you could communicate our thoughts and see what he thinks.
Or touch,
And then I'll report back.
Yeah.
touch base with him, see what his area of focus has been, that he's been directed to do, and then, then we can come up with some other ideas perhaps for him.
Yeah.
And
Or
give him-
suggestions,
Yeah.
but I think, yeah, I agree.
Sandy, do you think you'd be able to see the person in Bucksport for our next meet? I'm planning for us not to meet in August.
Yeah.
Is that all right with
Yes,
everybody?
that's fine with me.
Do you think that you might find out who we might talk to, or have that person come here and talk to us
Well,
about
I
how?
can contact
About how they got
Catherine and
that
at least
started.
see how, what's going on. I'm gonna guess it's probably a chamber person, and I just don't know who
Right.
that person is, so, but maybe Catherine, I'm sure Catherine would know, So, yeah, I mean, I can dig around and see what I can
But
find out.
this chamber person should talk to Dean, I think. No, that's.
Well, yeah, we talked about that already. Yeah,
I know.
I know
but
what you're
I'm not
saying, yeah, I
willing-
know what you're
I'm willing
saying.
to do
yeah.
it, but it seems to me the
But is he,
economic
yeah, but is
development
he,
guy and the chamber of commerce go hand in hand.
but is he willing to do
Well, he
that?
should
And
be.
does he, can he, given the guidelines he's been given? I mean, he may not have,
Oh, I can't.
you know what I
believe
mean? He may
can't,
not
but-
be able to do that. I don't know. I mean,
Well, I know what you're saying. Well,
Yeah,
you'll,
I mean-
you'll find out.
I don't know what his charge is from the selectmen, so,
We acted like it was both.
Or what he views his charge as.
I mean, I can dig into it a little bit on my own, and then just.
Well, find out.
And see what's going on.
Who did it
Yeah.
in Bucksport? I'll talk to James, and I'll talk to Dean about what we've been talking
Yeah.
about.
I really would like to hear her take on what she feels about the revitalization of Bucksport. Just ask her that,
Yeah.
because she's obviously a part of it. I would just like to hear
And I
what shop owners think about that. Now there was a wonderful flower shop last year that opened up just down the next block from the dairy port. It's gone, but something else is in there. So a flower and something shop.
You've
Well, there
seen
was
it
a
up-
wine bar that had something
And I
else
just
in with
so
it.
so
Yeah.
so far there and now Rosen's is gone. I mean, my gosh, it was there for
Oh, is it
1,000
really?
years, and
Oh,
so
my goodness.
something else is in there. They're doing the they're
Yeah, they're
They are
attracting.
moving.
Yeah, where are
They
they
are-
getting?
they're on the
Where are
move.
they? Yeah, where
They're
are
on
they?
the move, and you can
yeah,
feel
where are
the
they looking
energy.
to get these people?
right. You
These
can feel the
businesses
energy
in?
because I guess
You
they
know,
got grants
right.
and things to do the river walk.
Right,
and that
right.
is so beautiful and
That is
just
really nice.
it's just
Yeah, that's a-
fabulous. And
that's
now
an
it goes
asset
all the
for
way to
town. It really is.
Hanford.
Ice
I mean,
cream
it's
shop
just
is
wonderful.
always crowded.
Yep.
I don't know.
When you think how different that was 15 years ago, just it's amazing
All
what
right, well,
they've
if you get
done.
a name, I'll
Yeah.
call. I'll take it.
Yeah, let me
and
poke around a little
investigate
bit.
that, and maybe that person can come and talk about it.
I like the idea is if we could get something going that we would talk to the Historical Society and the museum and anybody else in the whole town that's interested in really get a community effort going. I really think that's what we need to do.
Well, I think that,
Instead of these little fractious,
yeah,
let's
we have a
you know.
cohesive,
Yeah, we
here's
have to
our
think big.
theme,
We have to
right?
think big instead of just, a little small,
Yeah.
event. We really need to think much bigger.
Yep, I agree with that, and I think that's If you can create a buzz, the buzz will generate interest.
Yeah.
Interest generates growth.
Yep.
You know, so it's definitely it's a long-term plan.
Yep.
It's not
Yeah.
something you can do overnight, but
What do you think about
I love that.
working on
I
this?
think
Yes.
that's part of it.
I love
I think
that.
that's part of generating the interest and
Yep.
the buzz.
Yep.
You know,
Because now you've got the idea, now you gotta publicize it, you gotta get it out
And
to
I realize
as
you
many
had that
people
for a
as
while,
possible.
and
And your businesses have to be supportive, your local businesses, they have to be out there pushing that too.
I mean, you still have. I think one of the challenges for any retailer in any area is drawing the business away from online sales too. Because it's really easy just to sit in your house and go click a click.
Yeah.
And I'll admit I'm as guilty as anybody about it, right?
I don't feel guilty about that at all. I am so glad not to have to go out after that stuff.
But when
Just
you
me-
also have,
But our
you know where to
downtown,
get it.
our downtown
you
needs
know.
to be something else. It needs to be something you have to stop, get out of your car and go and look at.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. You have to have that connection with the
Yep.
sales and the retailers, so,
Yep.
and the shop owners. And I think that's kind of lost along here.
You have to find something that really grabs people.
Right.
I mean, really, really grabs
Yeah.
them, that's different than anybody else around here.
Right.
You know?
And we have the museum is wonderful, but let's utilize it to our benefit.
It's
as
having
a
the same
town.
problem as this,
You
though.
know,
It really is.
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
It
it's
needs to be,
also-
the whole place needs to be re-energized.
Yeah.
I have a question, I mean, it has really nothing to do with the vacant storefronts, but I remember I moved here like 5 years ago, and I remember those first few years, you used to have the little trees that the businesses would adopt a tree or whatever at Christmas time and stuff. I thought that was the coolest idea, and I thought, you know, they really ought to expand on this. Put a 50-foot Christmas tree out there and really bring people in and publicize it. And I think you could have gotten, and then all of a sudden it died out, like after 2 years, and there's nothing. And I just think that was, I know maybe it's not that important, but I
Well,
just thought it was such a
I
part for
think-
local people.
Yes.
Because you've got to get, you get the tourists, but you've got to have something for the local people to do.
I
and to
think
get
what the
involved
problem has
with.
been around here, Sandy, is that the people that have been coming up with these ideas are old.
Yep.
And they just
And
can't,
just-
they're
you don't wanna
hoping
do-
when
right,
they start
right.
something like that,
That somebody else will take it over,
a 10-year
right.
younger person will step in, and they
Right.
don't. So
Yeah.
there's another problem. We can't seem to spark the next group into,
Yeah, we
getting
need to hit
energized.
the next to start
That
the
is.
next
I mean,
generation.
you're the youngest person that
younger
showed up for,
generation, right.
for this,
Well,
so.
and
And it's
yeah.
wonderful. I'm glad you're here, and you must have friends, so. It's gonna
Bring 'em on.
Well, it's
Right.
funny you should mention
be,
that.
see?
So,
Right.
Yeah.
But that is, I think, Sandy, that's what it is. It's age. That's the
I
problem.
agree with you. Yeah, 'cause
Friends
like-
who want to be on the committee?
Well, I always
No,
have friends
seriously.
that are interested.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, even with like the Mossman Park Association,
Yeah,
I had talked
yeah.
to Faith about that, and
Yeah.
she's like, "Well, we meet in September. We meet once a year.
Yeah.
Show up and you're in."
Yeah.
So you know, that's part of it too. 'Cause she said the average age is like 80.
Well, she's,
You know?
I mean,
Yeah.
she's
I
in her
know.
late 80s, for
I
heaven's
know.
sakes. I mean,
And I mean, she's not going to be around forever, and God love her. So, I mean, there has to be some sort of influx of new people
Exactly.
that just
Right.
can't start over from scratch. They
Right,
have to be
sure.
involved for a while.
yeah, that's really
And
too bad
because
if
there
they're
is a
waiting for
curve.
those people to be gone. That's just
Mm-hmm.
a shame, because they're such a wonderful resource.
But it is also an issue where, you know, it's not easy to live here in this town. It's really not. And for most people, you have to have both people in the house working, and there's not a lot of industry that has regular hours.
When you say that, would you elaborate a little bit? When you say it's not easy to live here, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, as far as there's not a lot of decent paying jobs in the area, there really isn't. It's a lot of manual labor. It's a lot of, you know, part-time work for most people. I mean,
Right.
I'm fortunate, but not everyone is. And, you know, that's one of the challenges that we have to overcome as a group, to get that new blood in there, those fresh faces in there, because they're busy. They're working 40, 60 hours a week. And, you know, they don't have that extra time because they have one or two jobs. They're raising their families.
Yeah.
You know, and it's, I mean, it's the challenge that
And the
everyone
women
has had
as well
to
as the
overcome.
men.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's usually a 2 or 3 income household because it has to be.
Yeah.
You know, because taxes are high, food costs are high, transportation's high. You have to drive an hour to go buy a new pair of pants.
Right.
You know, I mean, that's the reality that we face, and that's really the challenge. So when you are looking for that new influx of people, you know, it more than likely will be the people that, you know, like me, that are fortunate to have that. Okay, this is my 40 hours. But I have that ability and that flexibility to take
Yep.
on a little bit more. Maybe not
Yep.
the whole thing,
Right.
right? Because it's
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, help out where you can here and there. And I think that if, as a group, we put it out there, and just not just our group, I mean, any of the civic organizations, put it out there that, hey, whatever you can do.
Yeah.
Even if it's like 2 hours a month, whatever you can do
Right.
helps.
Right.
Same with Friends of Sears Island. You know,
Yep.
you go over there on a Saturday with your kids and pick up garbage, you know.
Right.
I think that's really the way to address it, and to garner that interest, and let people know that we're not expecting you to be
Right.
every single meeting for every single
Right.
minute. You know, because it's unrealistic for a lot of folks.
Yeah.
Especially
Good point, good
in
point.
this area.
I think another way to approach it too is something that you and I are going to work on with this curriculum.
Yeah.
Because we're going to get young people involved. Young people are going to go home and they're going to tell their folks,
Yeah.
gee, you know what I learned? And
Yeah.
guess what? If we drove down, Mom and Dad, down here on Route 1, look at that house over there, and hopefully we can stimulate that
Yeah.
kind of interest in the kids who will now pass it on to their parents.
Yep.
You know, and who knows, maybe, I mean, it's a small thing, but,
That's
you
part
know,
of
sometimes the small things really are really important, and, you know.
Well, I mean, also too, when you have younger kids that, you know, they're going to be teenagers coming up in a few years, and they're always looking for
Something.
a you know, community
Something
service
to do,
projects
something
to
to-
do,
Right.
yeah,
something to
something
get
to
on
be
their
a
college
part of.
resumes as
Sure.
well.
Right, yeah,
So,
that's true.
You know,
Yeah.
that always helps.
Yep. And that's a good idea to approach people just for, you know, an hour a month. That's a really good idea.
Okay,
Right.
well, Sandy and Kelly are working on the school
Yep.
program. I'm going to, if I have time, I really don't have much time either. But I am very interested in working on this brochure.
Brochure, me too,
Yes.
Marie. I'm
Well,
really
you want to
interested in
start
that.
it, Mary? I only have this one,
Okay,
so.
it
we
seems like
can't
I've got one
lose
of these
that.
somewhere that I can look at. I think I have one. So. Well, I will start thinking about it, and I will ask you about it, about if I need to look at this. Just start thinking about it, because this one, is this state? Yeah, this is Staple.
Actually, a lot of that applies very much to
Yeah,
us because
exactly.
it's a state and a national program,
Yeah.
a federal program.
Yep.
And your pictures, you could just pull right off of, you know,
Yeah.
your publicity that you already put out.
Right, exactly.
You know, and another thing, like when you're at the library for this exhibit, you know, just have a list, you know,
Yeah.
a piece of paper, and gee, can you donate an hour or two or something, and, you know, grab their name and phone number.
Yeah, I tried
And then
to do that, but
follow
I
up.
didn't say that
We found
1 hour a
out, you
month,
know, on
and
Friends
that's
of
good,
Sears
I'll use
Island,
that.
that there were times when we didn't follow up, and then
Yeah.
and then people just kind of, okay,
say,
they
well,
didn't call me.
gee, I offered it,
So now
yeah.
we're really making, right, now we're really making a concerted effort to follow up and say, okay, you know, if you really don't want to, that's fine, we understand that, but, you know, because I think we had a few people slip through the cracks, so,
Yeah.
but we're really trying to reverse that, so.
Yep,
No, I think that's
Okay, to sum up, we have a lot of
a
energy.
lot of ideas tonight, that's
enthusiasm.
very good, yeah.
So Mary, you and I are gonna talk
Yeah.
think about that. You're
Yeah.
working on the school program. And I will bring this up at the next meeting of the revitalization to be sure that they are working
Right,
on
right.
this. So I think that'll do it for now, unless you have other things that you want
And
to
I'll
get started
call
on now.
Dick about this.
I'm sorry?
I'll mention.
That for Dick Damaris to put on the,
I want to make sure this.
put on the air
I want to call them
museum.
first to
Yeah.
make sure they have how much they have about our guy before I do it.
Well, he'll put on just about anything that
Yeah.
you have.
No, I know Dick will.
Yeah,
Their brochure doesn't say a lot.
Oh,
about
I'm
our
sorry.
guy.
yeah,
So I want to make sure that we don't go trotting up there without.
yep.
And I'll
Mr.
talk,
Smith being there. But anyway, I'll take care of that.
Okay, that'd be great, yeah.
That's great.
I'll talk to Bree too about, Belfast's involvement and,
Good.
their best demonstrated practices that they've done as well.
Okay. And Kelly, I heard you say that you would take minutes. Take
Yes.
notes.
I've taken notes.
Yep, that's great.
It's great.
They're not
Okay,
perfect.
I have one more thing to say. You may all know this, but I just found out today. The oldest house is, quote, oldest house in Searsport was bought by Buddy
Hall.
Hall, but has been sold by Buddy Hall
Oh.
to a patrol officer, a Searsport patrol officer.
Oh, good.
And we will be getting an application to request permission to tear down that building because it's just absolutely demolished. So,
You're saying, it's not, it's gotta be torn down.
it's got to be torn down. However,
We should take a bunch of pictures
we're
of
going
it.
to have to take pictures of it. So.
Where's the house located?
We are going to have.
It's, do you know where the book place
Yes,
is?
I know
when
where
you're
the
heading
book
out?
place, yeah.
I think it's the next house. It's white with
Oh,
green
okay.
trim.
It's
Okay.
two
Where's
houses
it?
down
It's a
from
farmhouse.
that,
When you're headed out of town,
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's a book place,
And then
a
it's
book
on-
Yeah.
barn place, and then
Oh,
it's just
right.
beyond there, on the
yeah.
same
I
side of the
tried to look.
street.
You
Yeah.
guys
And it's a
told me
white
before.
house. It's just a very plain looking farmhouse, white house with green
Okay,
trim.
I've looked for it before, but
Yep.
I'm probably going too
Yep.
fast.
I think it's right beyond that
All
book
right,
place.
okay.
But anyway, it's further than you think.
All
And
right.
it's
So
on the right.
anyway, we are going to have a meeting. So if they want this done before our next meeting in September, I will have to call you together
Okay,
to do this,
Okay,
okay?
yep. It used to have a big barn on the right-hand side, so then it was much more impressive, like an old farmhouse with a big barn, but now the barn's gone.
Yeah.
So it's just a very plain
So it's on the left.
farm.
going-
No, it's on the
Oh, it's
right.
on the
We're
right.
headed towards
Belfast.
Belfast, it's on the right.
Yeah.
Before where the
Not
old
the book,
mustard
not the
seed
yellow,
was.
not the yellow book barn, the one that's on the right.
Oh,
book
okay, I'm
place.
thinking of the yellow
Yeah,
place.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think it might be
Got
yellow
it.
also. I said yellow. I
Okay.
think it's also yellow, but
Now I know
anyway,
what
it's
you're
just
talking
beyond
about.
there.
All right.
Yeah, because it's
Well,
really further than you think.
before we act though, don't we get some
Yes,
in writing from the building
yes,
inspector
from the
saying-
planning
We're
board.
getting an application. No,
No,
we're
but
the
Doesn't it
ones
come
that-
through the,
We're the
we
ones,
go-
we're the ones that make a determination, and our recommendation goes to the code enforcement officer.
oh,
No, but
okay.
who's the one who tells it's not fixable?
Yeah, I thought that came from the code person.
Well, they're telling us that we would officially, we're the persons that make that determination.
Yeah, but if the code
They're
guys.
already, they've already made that decision.
See, that's unfortunate because even 3-4 years ago, it was on the market as, a handyman special and habitable, etc. So, I mean, it must have really gone downhill quickly.
A house will when it isn't occupied.
Yeah, well, it was,
Well, that's too bad.
according to some of the Martins who were living there, it's never been in very good shape for 50 years, so.
All right, is there anything else that anybody wants to bring it up? Thank you for all of your
All right.
energy and your suggestions and your discussion, and we'll carry on.
All right.
And if, our next meeting then would be
September
September
15th.
15th, but I will email you if we need to have a meeting to determine that application. Okay.